Costa Rica has given me some absolutely wild animal encounters, from rescuing a baby monkey on a dirt road to a crocodile that tried to eat my dog. Some of these you might have seen on Peligro Live. Others we haven't released until now. Today, we're looking back at my top 5 craziest wildlife moments, with behind the scenes stories, unseen footage, and 2 new adventures that still blow my mind. Now let's get started with the first animal that gave me a new perspective on the wildlife here. This all started when we were living in an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere in Guanacaste, and we were stuck there for a month. So we're coming back from the beach and I see this car stopped in the middle of the road. Right in front of it is this tiny little black thing that's limping. I immediately pull over, jump out, and get closer and find out that it's a baby howler monkey that's been really badly injured. It had injuries on its leg, injuries on its head, and there was a nice Costa Rican family that happened to speak perfect English that was like, hey, what do we do with this thing? So we picked up this baby monkey with a towel, put it inside a box, and now we were driving it back to our Airbnb because who hasn't snuck a baby monkey into an Airbnb? As we're driving back with a monkey in a box on a dirt road, everything's going great until the monkey decided to pop out of the box, scream, poop in the car, and Daphne, meanwhile, is holding this poor little monkey and she's not sure if this thing's gonna bite her. It was absolutely insane. Lucky for us, the baby monkey just wanted to feel some of the mother's love. And so with Daphne right there, it kind of latched onto her and then just relaxed and started feeling safe again. When we got home, we had to figure out what to do with this baby howler monkey. We knew we couldn't keep it as much as we may have wanted to. So I got on the phone and started calling all the rescues in the area. It actually took a lot of work, but we found one that we could get it to. So we all hopped in the car. This time, the baby did not want to be in the box, and so Daphne held the monkey with a towel, and it just felt so comfortable in her arms. We had like an hour and a half on crazy bumpy dirt roads, crossing a couple rivers, but we finally made it to the rescue. And when we made it to the rescue, we did the handoff, and now the monkey was going to be safe. But in the small time that we had spent with that monkey, it had really bonded with Daphne. And as it got put into a crate from Daphne's arms, it just kind of looked back at her with these beautiful, big, sad eyes, like, you're taking me away from my new mommy? For me, this was heartbreaking, and I'm pretty sure that this monkey knew what it was doing. It found its way to the middle of the road. There was no other monkeys anywhere in sight, and it just was asking for help. Lucky for us, we found the best place possible for this monkey. The International Animal Rescue Center specializes in rehabilitating howler monkeys and releasing them back into the wild. So now Tomas has the best chance of life, and hopefully within a year, all the little juvenile monkeys that he's been hanging out with, he's gonna be released into the wild with those monkeys again. Seeing just how fragile this animal was and asking for help really had a big impact on our lives, and we wanted to get more involved with monkey conservation. And if you haven't seen this video yet, please check it out. This is one of those heartwarming stories that just melts you into a pile of mush. But the next encounter wasn't so heartwarming because this was the time that a crocodile tried to eat my dog. Here in Costa Rica, crocodiles sometimes eat dogs. We've seen it almost happen on the beach of Drake Bay, where a crocodile was in the ocean and it was stalking a stray dog that was on the beach. Don't worry, we called that lovable dog over and made sure that the crocodile swam off and nothing happened. But this time it was different. This was a crocodile trying to eat my dog. Daphne and I love going out to this wildlife refuge near Hermosa Beach by Jaco. And so we know that there's crocodiles in the estuaries. In fact, there's one that's about 10 feet long that we've named Rufus. And Rufus is kind of a sneaky crocodile because it doesn't really like to be seen by people. So every time I come in there, I'm trying to get a shot and then Rufus disappears into the water. So this time, Daphne's out on the beach looking for shells and cool things that wash up, and I'm headed over to the estuary looking for Rufus. I've got my camera gear, I'm ready. As I'm walking, Rufus spots me first, and before I can even get everything set up, disappears into the water. But it was at that time that Kira said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she ran over to me, and now the crocodile's in the water, I'm with my camera, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. I see the crocodile's head dip below the surface. As we're trying to get Kira on the leash, I turn my back, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see this crocodile face surface again. I look over at it, right back under the water. But this time, the crocodile was a little bit closer. So we get Kira on the leash, and we play this game a few more times where the crocodile was watching the whole time. He was watching all of us from just a few centimeters below the water surface, and we had no idea where that croc was. I'm 100% sure he had his eyes on Kira. In Costa Rica, you can see crocodiles all over the place, especially at the Tarcoles Bridge, where they're so humanized that they just chill there. But a wild crocodile is a little bit different because they don't really want to be around humans. However, they won't pass up a free meal if it comes walking down to the river's edge. And speaking of things that see us but we don't see them, let's talk about snakes. 2 deadly snakes, 1 lucky day. We were in the rainforest near Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean coast looking for animals. As it just so happened, one person in our group was deathly afraid of snakes. For me, that's like the best thing that I can see, especially the golden yellow eyelash pit viper. So I had my eyes looking for that snake. We kept hiking deeper and deeper into the rainforest, and then I spotted one. Out on a log in the middle of the light was this beautiful golden yellow eyelash pit viper. Now, our friend decided, I'm gonna stay over here and let you guys do that. As we were getting all our camera gear set up to go take videos of the eyelash pit viper, I hear our friend in the distance say, "Hey guys, I think there's a deadly snake over here." I thought honestly that she was just really scared to be this far in the rainforest, and everything is a deadly snake, right? So I went over and checked it out. And sure enough, right by her feet was a coral snake. Now, coral snakes are not just deadly, they're the closest relative to cobras that we have in the Americas, with a really powerful neurotoxic venom. The good news, they're really mild-mannered, and I've never seen an angry coral snake. I let her know she might want to take a couple steps back, but I was stoked. 2 deadly snakes in one area? I had to decide which one we were going to film first, and honestly, the coral snake was more likely to take off, and we started filming the coral snake. Sure enough, the snake got scared and beelined for the bushes. Now, you don't see coral snakes all that often, and in the heat of the moment, I may have been a little excited, and I grabbed the coral snake by the tail as it was going down a hole, but that's when it happened. The closest I have ever been to being bit by a snake, this coral snake popped out of the hole, whipped around, and if it wanted to strike me, it would have had me. It was way too fast. At that point, I definitely threw the snake on the ground and it was like, nope, I'm done. And it just slithered into the bushes, but that was the closest that I came to a coral snake, and luckily, I walked away safe and sound. Of course, there was a deadly eyelash pit viper right next door, so we kept the cameras rolling and filmed that one. Now, if you get bit by a pit viper, their venom's a little bit different. It's more hemotoxic, so it's gonna destroy the blood cells and the tissues in your body. I'm just thankful that I didn't get the double dose, because I don't know if that's ever happened to somebody where they've gotten bit by a viper and a coral snake. But we were in prime territory for that to happen. All fear aside, snakes don't eat humans. So why would they want to waste their precious venom on something that's not even going to fit inside their mouth? Yeah, defense might happen, but I go looking for these snakes all the time in the middle of the rainforest, and of course, the person who doesn't want to see the snake always finds them. If you thought seeing 2 venomous snakes back to back was wild, well, this next story seems like something straight out of science fiction. The Army Ant Takeover. Now, this happened on a recent hike to El Miro near Jaco, and before you go thinking that these ants are bad, they actually do something pretty amazing. The army ants here in Costa Rica are nomadic, so they don't have a nest. Every day, they take the entire colony and they go out and forage, and then they spend the night bundled up together underneath a log or something like that. So we're coming back from our hike from El Miro, and we're hiking down. Daphne spots a spider out in the open. And just like any sane normal person would do, I went over and I picked up the spider and we started rolling the camera. The spider looked a little bit tired, and I was like, this just isn't the most active spider that I've seen. We let it go, and that's when I noticed what was really going on. I could see all the little insects coming out of the bushes, and they were running across the trail. Right behind them, thousands of army ants crawling over the trail like a black carpet, eating everything in sight. While it sounds a little morbid, after my recent encounter with a cockroach, I thought it was quite satisfying to watch the cockroaches get devoured by these ants. Sadly for Mr. Spider, he had been running from these ants and he just had no more energy left, and we watched as the wave of ants crawled on top of him and just turned into black. Now, for a lot of people, having hundreds of thousands of ants walk anywhere near them is a nightmare. But let me tell you the good part. I've been in a couple places in Costa Rica where this has happened and they've come into the house. Now, these army ants aren't the type of ants that are gonna eat your food, your sugar, your meat, or anything like that. But what they do like to eat is all the pest species that are living inside your house, like those cockroaches. And what the people do here, well, they open their door to those ants, they get out of the house, they come back 2 hours later, and it's clean. You can think of this like a free cleaning service sponsored by nature. But by far, the wildest encounter of all took me 6 years to see, but we finally did it. The Jaguarundi. After 6 years of living here, there's always been one animal that I've never been able to see in the wild, and that's a wild cat. I've seen the scat, I've seen the tracks, I've had people come running from down the trail being like, did you just see the ocelot right there? I have missed it every single time. But this day in Puerto, we were in for a surprise.
All right, that was probably the craziest, single most craziest encounter I've ever had in Costa Rica. That is the first wild cat that I've ever seen.
By now, you've probably figured out that I enjoy wandering out into nature and seeing what we can find. So this day was no different. We had stopped at the beach near Puerto, crossed an estuary, and all of a sudden we saw a trail that went into some rainforest and kind of bordered the farmlands. As we're walking up the trail, we're seeing things like macaws and all sorts of normal species of animals that we see here. But then, just as we were about to turn around, we saw something dark wandering towards us. As I looked closer, it kind of looked like a house cat with a big, awkward head. That's when it hit. This was a Jaguarundi, and we are seeing our first wild cat in Costa Rica. I started fumbling around with my camera gear, trying to pull it out, and I couldn't get it out in time before that thing started disappearing into the mangroves. And like any sane, normal person would do, I grabbed my camera gear and I headed off after it through this field of mud. I was tromping through the mud, ditched my sandals, and just went barefoot at that point, and I could start seeing the tracks of the Jaguarundi. As I got closer to the mangroves, that's when it actually popped back out into the open, and I had my camera up as I was walking, bouncing up and down, and I'm getting this Bigfoot-like footage, but I captured the Jaguarundi on film. I was trying to sneak up on a wild cat that I'm pretty sure knew I was there the entire time. But as I was holding that camera, walking, getting a little bit closer, just about to get the shot, I stepped on a stick, it cracked, the Jaguarundi looked back at me, we locked eyes, and then with one jump, it disappeared into the mangroves, and it was gone. Even though the moment didn't last that long, this is what makes these experiences so special. Living in a place where we can walk into nature and you never know what you're gonna see. Nothing's guaranteed. All of these animals are 100% wild, and we just happen to be at the right place at the right time. Costa Rica is one of the wildest places on Earth, and these animal encounters are just a piece of what it's like to live here. This is the reason we started Peligro Life, to go out and explore this world, motivate you to get outside and have your own adventure. If you want to see the full stories of the Jaguarundi, the monkey rescue, or the snakes, check them out after this video. And in the comments, why don't you let me know your coolest wildlife experience you've ever had? Thanks for watching. Stay wild.